With the recent buff or rework to the Karnstein armlets, you are now able to run much like the Titan restoration on any subclass. The way it works, if you get a powered melee kill, you gain ×3 cure and tier 1 restoration. If you get a finisher, you gain ×3 cure and tier 2 restoration. So in Gist, this is yet just another build where you have infinite restoration. But this one is one I would deem with training wheels. If you aren't familiar with the infinite restoration Sunbracers build, or just find it a little too complicated to pull off, the Karnstein armlets have you covered. And it even frees up your build a little bit. Just slightly though. But let me know in the comments if you want a video on how to pull off the infinite restoration Sunbracers build. And as a real quick announcement, I just started my streaming journey here on YouTube and over on Twitch. I do low mans and anything challenging in Destiny 2. So if you want to stop by real quick and say hello, if you're into any of that type of content or just wanting to get into it, it would be awesome to see you over there. Now for all the glaive lovers out there, these exotic arms are the most potent on glaives. The ×3 cure is completely spammable, mainly meaning it has no cooldown when most exotics do have a cooldown with them. Kill after kill will grant you ×3 cure, and if you were to throw down a healing nade or just get a finisher and pair it with the Ember of Empyrean, you will innately have an infinite restoration applied, being at tier 2 of course. And if you were running a distance weapon like Sunshot, I would tell you that the restoration is more worth your time, but since glaives can bring the damage enough just for ad clearing even in the most challenging content, the ×3 cure is overkill for your survivability. And to further solidify the build, of course comes with the fact that you will need to do more damage in order to get the kill. So things like close to melee is the best option for you if you want to get the most bang for your buck. And pairing this with Radiant does actually stack and boost the damage of the melee attack as well. Makes it to where even the beefier enemies will fall fast enough just for you to get that instant health refresh. Getting into the numbers real quick just to show you, the base melee on Karl here goes for 13,946, and with Radiant applied it jumps up to 17,433. And if we were to combine close to melee with Radiant, it would go even further up to 22,662, which is a grand total of a 62% increase in damage. The one downfall for this type of weapon is the fact that in terms of armor mods, the synergy for glaives is nearly zero. You can do something with the projectile with the mods, but I don't know any glaive mains that use the glaive simply for its projectile, which is sad to see. But with this build, we will be going with the solar subclass. You can use any subclass you want, of course, and will still be able to get the infinite restoration. For every melee kill, just, reprocs it essentially. But with the added bonus that solar does give you radiance to boost your damage even further, I feel like it's just more potent over on the solar subclass. So finally, getting into the subclass, starting off with our super, I'm just going with Blood Radiance because there's really nothing better. And for the class ability, I'm going with the Healing Rift because I like placing down heals for my teammates, but some people want to run Phoenix Dive for the contingency. I completely understand it. I'm just not going with it, but you can completely swap it out if you want. For my jump, it's just Burst Glide. I just find it to be best unless I'm doing jumping puzzles, then it's Strafe Glide. For the melee, we're going Incinerator Snap because I play PvE. That's it. For the Healing Nade, it has two main purposes. One is contingency, like do I find myself without heals? Probably close to impossible with Karnstein armlets, but I'll have the Healing Nade if I ever need it. And the second reason to run it is laziness, really. You can throw it down and it will give you ×2 restoration to where you can just use the glaive and keep the ×2 restoration going. Laziness meaning you were too lazy to get a finisher. That's it. But if you're okay with just getting finishers every time, literally any other grenade works just as well. Now for our aspects, Touch of Flame is mainly for the heal nade, of course, because healing nades, they come with tier 1 unless you use Touch of Flame, then the heal nade will be a ×2 restoration. For the next one is Icarus Dash because I like the movement ability that it gives Warlocks, and since we are running a glaive, to close the distance would be more beneficial to run flying aspect, really. The ×3 is good, but that's only if you're getting kills, and you need to close the distance to get those kills. For our fragments, the only one that I see to be the most, you gotta have would be Ember of Empyrean, of course. This is gonna keep your restoration going, whether you're running a distance weapon like Sunshot or Callous Mini Tool, or you could just run it with the glaive, of course. My glaive would be solar. It's gonna run with close to melee as well, and the melee glaive attack does actually proc Ember of Empyrean to keep your timer going. The next would be Ember of Torches. This is to get Radiance, and I realized that there's not many ways to get radiant in this game. So Ember of Torches to just immediately Incinerator Snap a ad and get radiant, and then just keep it going with your glaive attacks. Keeps damage up, keeps health up, so you just gotta have it. Next would be Soulless, and I would actually say that you can just switch this out with whatever. If you're running a glaive, you don't need Soulless at all. It helps, but it's mainly if you are running a distance weapon like Sunshot or Callous Mini Tool. It's where you can just have the buffer time between those weapons getting the kill and gaining more time for your restoration, radiant, whatever. Next up is Ember of Benevolence. I'm running this because it got a buff, so if I were to apply Radiant not only to myself but to my teammates with Incinerator Snap, I will get an increase in all of my ability energy, Class Grenade, and Melee. I'll be putting on screen for you right now the percentage gained from Ember of Benevolence, but it's pretty good at just now. And for the mods, it is actually extremely difficult to find what actually helps you in terms of mods if you're like running a glaive mainly, for the simple fact that there are no mods that synergize with the melee attack of the glaive. It could be my lack of creativity, or it could be my lack of knowledge because I just don't use glaives enough and I don't know what synergizes too well with it. But that's where I will invite all the glaive mains to post in the comments, what mods should we run? It would be nice to see your guys' answers to that. So right here in front of you, I have all the mods that I will be using. You can copy them down here if you want, or don't. I feel like the exotic, the subclass, and the weapon roll on your glaive are really the only benefactors to push this build to being such a incredible deal. Really, it's just Karnsteins are just that goated. And to be able to spam cure with a weapon that helps that is just a no-brainer to do. So with all that said, then leaves your mods to be free game for whatever. So what can you run? It'll be heavy, spawn heavy for your teammates, because why not? Run your resistance mods, because I guess, why not? You know, and for the legs, I understand there is the route of having ability regens through orb pickups, but Ember of Benevolence has you covered there. You really don't need to touch that. So then it just leaves the point of like, you can have weapon surges on, but it won't be for the glaive because the weapon surge mods don't actually proc for the glaive hit. It's for the projectile. But I don't know anybody who uses a glaive for the projectile. It just doesn't make too much sense to me. So run the surges for your heavy weapon. And then for the class piece, it's really just what I run on everything. I don't take these mods off ever. But getting into it, over on the helmet, we have, of course, like I said, a way to spawn heavy for not only me, but my teammates. There is a harmonic siphon here, but it doesn't work with the glaive melee attack for the projectiles, really. But you don't even need to have that on because it's not really too often that you're getting kills with the projectile. It's just not reliable enough. Plus, it doesn't even get you the heals. Next up is the arms. And you could run like a reloader for your glaive, I guess, or your heavy or whatever you want. But everything else here, like grenade kickstart, melee kickstart, not only have they been nerfed, you don't even need them, specifically because Benevolence does have you covered. Heavy-handed is not for the glaive melee. It doesn't work for that. It's for the Incinerator Snap. You gotta get it off in the end of the day just to get radiant onto you. So by getting a kill, spawning an orb, it's like, why not, you know? It's gonna be an empty slot if not that. For the chest piece, it's just your standard defense mods, of course, the tried and true. Just match it to whatever your activity is. And for your legs, like I said, you can run a surge mods. It would be for your heavy, it wouldn't be for your glaive. Want to know a really goated strat here? Run Dragon's Breath, shoot it onto a boss, then pull out your glaive and go damage that boss. Trust me, the strat is the highest DPS in the game. You'll love it. Enough said with that. Okay, so on my class piece, it's so not only would I be spawning heavy for my team, I'll be spawning special for my team. Along with Powerful Attraction, these two mods I just never really take off any of my classes. The Bomber is because it's, again, it's the end of the day, it's just why not. Benevolence has you covered. This is just icing on the cake. I mean, what else would I really put here? I guess this for the finisher for the ×2 resto if you really want it. Now I hope this video helps you guys out, and if not, understandable. In the end of the day, Karnstein's giving ×3 cure and having no cooldown is just too broken to not utilize at least once in your life. But getting finishers for that easy tier 2 restoration just to keep it going with Sunshot or a Callous Mini Tool is just, if not more, as viable. Now, like I said, I am starting my live stream journey here on YouTube and Twitch, so if you want to stop by and say hello, that would be amazing. I'm starting off doing some low mans, helping some friends get their tags, and then from there we will take it onwards. But a like and subscribe to the channel here helps out the channel more than you know, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.